Okay, this is for Algebra 2, and this is for dividing rational expressions. It's going to be very similar to what we did yesterday with multiplying, except that you've got to remember the rule you learned in junior high for multiplying or for dividing fractions, and it was leave, change, flip. So you leave the first fraction alone, you change the division to multiplication, and you flip the second one. So, for example, if you had 1/2 divided by 2/3, it would become 1/2 times 3/2. We left the first one, we changed the division sign, and we flipped the second one. Then it's just multiplication, which is what we did yesterday. So you want to do your leave, change, flip. You want to simplify all expressions or factor, and then you want to cancel where you can. Remember that to cancel, you've got to have 1 in the top, 1 in the bottom. They can be at a diagonal or straight up and down. They just cannot be horizontal. Remember, if you have parentheses around it, it's all or nothing. You cannot cancel part of it. So factoring, if you only have 2 terms, remember to look for a difference of squares or a greatest common factor. Let's look at number 1. Leave, change, flip. So 5x over 3y squared stays. Becomes times, and then we flip, and we have 21y to the 5th over 10x to the 3rd. Now you're ready to cancel. 5 and the 10, the 3 and the 21. You have an x on top, so this x to the 3rd becomes x squared. You have a y squared on the bottom, so this y to the 5th becomes y to the 3rd. So looking at what's left on top, we have a 7y to the 3rd. Looking at what's left on the bottom, we have a 2x squared. That's your answer. Very similar to what we did yesterday. You're going to have to leave, change, flip. So everything's already simplified. So what I would do is just bring this x minus 3 and this x plus 9. I would mark it out so I didn't try to use it. Bring this x minus 5 and this x plus 7. Mark it out so you don't try to use it. Ready to cancel. X plus 1, there's nothing. X minus 5 goes away. X minus 3 goes away. X plus 9, there's nothing. So now you just take what's left and you write it down. You don't have to actually distribute or multiply or anything. I have an x plus 1 and an x plus 9 left on top. I have an x plus 2 and an x plus 7 left on bottom. So when you don't have the parentheses, I recommend just rewriting the whole thing. 6a to the 3rd c squared over 5b squared times 25a goes on top and 3c squared goes on bottom. So your 5 and your 25, your 3 and your 6. There are no a's on the bottom. Your c squared goes away. Okay, so 2 times 5 is 10 on the top. We have an a to the 3rd and an a, so that becomes a to the 4th on top. On the bottom, we have a b squared. That's your answer. If you can, I would go ahead and pull things out as I move. My x plus 3 goes to the bottom. The 3x minus 15 is going to go to the top, but go ahead and see if you can factor it. They both divide by a 3, and it leaves you x minus 5. Now you're ready to cancel. Oh, you're not, are you? 3x plus 6, you can pull out a 3. Leaves you an x plus 2. 2x minus 10, pull out a 2. And it leaves you an x minus 5. Now you're ready to cancel. Looks like the x minus 5 will go away. That's all I'm seeing. Go ahead and multiply the 3 times the 3, and you have a 9 and an x plus 2 on top. You have a 2 and an x plus 3 on the bottom. Always go back and double check when you write your answer and make sure there's not something you missed. Make sure there's nothing that'll still cancel. Okay, this looks scary, but it's no big deal. We know that a fraction means to divide. So you're going to take this middle part, and that's your, quote, division. So it becomes x minus 3 over x plus 4. That was your first. Change to multiplication, and you flip this bottom part. So x minus 2 is on top, x plus 4 is on bottom. So now you look and see if you can cancel anything. Think of all of these as having parentheses around them. The only thing that's the same is your x plus 4, but they're both on bottom, so they can't cancel. So your answer is x minus 3 times x minus 2 all over x plus 4 times x plus 4. You just write it all, and that's legal. I would go ahead and factor, if I could, while I'm splitting it up and rewriting it. X squared minus 9 becomes x minus 3 and x plus 3. It's over 4 times, flip the bottom so the 8 goes to the top, and 3 minus x. Ready to cancel. Your 4 goes away, your 8 becomes a 2. X minus 3 and 3 minus x are complete opposites, so if I put that negative out there, it goes away. So I have a negative, a 2, and an x plus 3 on top. There's nothing on the bottom. That's your answer. That's dividing rationals. If you have any questions, come see me during speed.